Hey everyone, Hurricane Liz here, back for another video, and this time I'm going to show you how I lost over $10,000 selling a product on Amazon, and I'm going to reveal to you not only the product, but also how much money I lost, and then finally I'm going to go into each of the reasons that this happened and how you can avoid them when you pick your next product. Now remember, everything that I show you is things that I've actually done, so as long as you pay close attention and try to avoid all the stupid things that I did, then you should be able to go on and have a very profitable Amazon business. And that's the number one reason why I actually create these videos. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Pun intended there, because the product that we're about to see, and as you'll see, I'm going to switch over to my screen share. And as you can see, that product is a unicorn pool float. Now, I'm not going to reveal the brand name. I'm also not going to reveal the title, but I'm going to show the product and I'm going to tell you how much money I lost in this case and all the reasons that you should avoid doing the same thing that I did, which is complete and utter stupidity, just like my words there were. So let's go ahead and jump in to, first of all, talking about the product and what happened here. As you can see, this is a pool float that I sold. And at the time, pool floats were selling for a pretty good amount of money. They were selling upwards of $39.99, which is actually pretty good. And if we go over to the Amazon FBA calculator, which is my favorite tool for calculating profitability, we're going to just go ahead and enter just unicorn pool float. And it's going to be pretty much the same one as this giant one right here. And this giant one is 5.6 pounds, which is the same that mine was at the time. I sold for $39.99. And if we calculate here, we're going to see that it does pretty good just by itself. However, the actual product unit cost for me was $11. So if we take a look at that, still pretty good margin. And I think it was a little bit less when we actually calculated in shipping. I think I want to say it was about $13. And it could have even been a little bit more than that, but I'm going to say more or less $13 is what was happening here. So 34% margin, 13.54 net profit, which is still pretty decent. And here's the thing is the fees were quite high, $7.45 for the fulfillment fee, which is pretty standard for $39.99. But the actual shipping fees were kind of expensive, which I think are right here. The fulfillment by Amazon fees, the $6.40. It's kind of expensive because it is a big, massive product, which is 6 pounds. So that's one of the actual issues. But if we go into the other issues that really, really hurt me, let's start with the very first one. So the number one reason that this was a bad product to actually jump into is the fact that this is a seasonal product. Most people are going to jump on this thing only in the summer, unless you live in Florida like I do and you could celebrate the beach all year round. That just doesn't happen anywhere else. So let's take a look. For the first thing to see if we have a seasonal product, you want to go to Google and hit trends and then click into Google Trends right here. And as we can see here, we can just look up pool float or even like swimming, right? Swimming is the same thing. And what we'll want to do here is look at the past 5 years to get an idea for how this happens. And as you can see, this is complete and utter seasonality. It's up in sales at one point and then down at another point. Another idea of a product where I did this with, but I did pretty well with, and I was able to sell out to my partner on this product, was cellulite cream. Same type of seasonality, even stuff like camping equipment, same thing, right? We want to avoid actual niches like this because they're not going to be able to sell that well year round. So it's kind of difficult to predict inventory. So an example of what a graph should look like is something like earbuds. Those are going to be red hot right now. And you're going to see that there's really no trend. It's just going steadily up, right? Products like this is the type of products you want to sell because there is no seasonality, which means you won't get stuck with them half the actual year. So that's what happened to me. I started selling them red hot and then they sort of stopped selling. So pick a product where there's no seasonality unless you're a pro and you have money to actually waste. Second reason why this sort of sucked is that I went with a larger than usual MOQ. Now, MOQ stands for a minimum order quantity. And what that basically means is it's the minimum amount that a supplier will allow you to order, which means in a lot of cases, it could be as low as 10, but with some factories, it could be as much as 5,000. Now, I had to buy 3,000 units when I purchased this actual unicorn. And as a result, well, I didn't sell a lot of them. So let's take a look at the stats on this sucker, and I'll show you exactly what ended up happening. Now, it's right here, so let me go ahead and zoom in on the unicorn. And as we could see right here, I will show you what I can show you, which is right here. Over $59,000 in sales, and it came out to a total of $63,000, including all these Amazon fees, 2,000 units that were actually sold. And there was a couple of refunds on there, about $3,000 worth of refund. $1,895 were organic. It looks like the rest were actually giveaways. And the packing fees were $12,000 with Amazon. The referral fees or the sales fees were $8,800. So the costs here were $32,000. This is how much it cost me, which was close to $34,000. If you add all this together, it came out that I would have gotten $5,154 or profited. But here's the actual issue. There are still 1,000 units sitting in my actual warehouse that haven't sold. I didn't get rid of them quickly. I wasn't really sure what to do. It was one of my first products. So over 1,000 units at 13, that's about 13,000 minus the 5 means I'm at -8. And on top of that, I've also had to pay the storage fees for almost over a year now because I haven't done anything with them. They've sat there forever. So as you can see, I'm down about 8,000 plus storage fees. So we'll call it about minus 18,000 on this product. And this really crappy ROI has become even crappier because of the fact that they've just sat there and collected dust. So that was the second thing. Let's go into the number 3 reason why this turned out to be a disaster. And that reason was that I ordered a little heavier than usual product. So if we look at, let's see, unicorn pool float, we'll take a look at what they on average weigh. And you're going to see that a lot of them are over that 3 pound to 5, actually over the 5 pound mark. And as a result, you're just going to pay a lot higher fees. So this is the same one that I plugged in. This was 5.5 pounds. And if we take a look at some of these that aren't Amazon's choice, just these standard ones, we're going to see that they've got some pretty big numbers. This one is 2.8 pounds. This one is 3.1 pounds. So these are much smaller. This one is similar to the one that I had. It's 5.7 pounds. But now the price has gone down even further. This one is 2 pounds. This one is about the same size that I had. This one is, let's see how much this weighs. Let's see the next one. 4 pounds. This one is 7 pounds. So this is about the same size as the one that I had. This one's 3 pounds. So a lot of them are a lot heavier than usual. And as a result, you're going to have to ship by sea with these products. So again, you're looking at even longer period of time to wait if you run out, and a lot more expensive than if you were actually selling something that's under 3 pounds. Now let's go into the 4th and final reason that these were a disaster. And that is because I failed at actually inspecting the first run of products. And I'll be honest with you, I'm going to try and pull it up here in a second if I can. But I had one complaint, and luckily it was from a very nice lady that she received her unicorn pool float with his head on backwards. And she was kind enough to send me a photo of her son riding the unicorn with the head on backwards. But I'll say this much about that kid. He had the biggest smile on his face. And for those of you guys that are still watching, I've managed to find for you this awesome pic. Here it is in all this glory as proof that I actually sold this crap. And the advice I'm giving to you is actual advice that you can take out there and ignore so you don't have to deal with unicorns staring at you the wrong way. So again, as usual, subscribe to this channel. I truly appreciate it. And if you have any questions or comments, put them below and I will actually answer them myself. So until next time, I will see you later. Take care.